Okay, so question 4. For each solute, which will be the better solvent, water or carbon tetrachloride? Okay, so first let's draw our two solvents. This is water, and oxygen is more electronegative than the two hydrogens, and it has two lone pairs. So we can draw a non-zero dipole moment going towards the direction of the oxygen, showing that the oxygen is more slightly partially negative, and the sides with the two hydrogens is partially positive. So we can say that water is polar. On the other hand, if we have carbon bonded with 4 chlorines, each chlorine atom is more electronegative than the carbon, but the fact that they are all pointing in different directions just shows that all of their dipole moments will cancel each other out. So therefore we can say that carbon tetrachloride is nonpolar. Okay, so if we remember that like dissolves like, meaning that polar molecules will dissolve other polar molecules, and nonpolar molecules will dissolve other nonpolar molecules, then that can help us answer the question. So let's start off with C6H6. Oh, sorry. I think it should be C2H6. Well, either way, this is just a simple hydrocarbon, only containing carbon and hydrogen bonds, and even the electronegativities between carbon and hydrogen, they are pretty similar, so the difference isn't that noticeable. So therefore, this hydrocarbon can dissolve in the nonpolar solvent, carbon tetrachloride. For B, we just have a simple iodines bonded to each other, a diatomic molecule. So obviously they are identical because they are the same atom. So there is no dipole moment. So therefore this will also dissolve in carbon tetrachloride. C is sodium sulfide. So sodium is a metal. So already we know that these bonds are ionic. And every ionic molecule is able to dissolve in water. Because if I were to draw out the charges, it would look like that. So this is polar. So this is able to dissolve in water. And then lastly, we just have methanol. So our oxygen is more electronegative than the CH3. So I can draw a non-zero dipole moment towards the direction of oxygen. So this is a polar molecule, so it's able to dissolve in water. Okay, so the junior tutor said polar solutes dissolve in polar solvents and nonpolar solutes dissolve in nonpolar solvents. Water is polar, carbon tetrachloride is nonpolar. C6H6 is nonpolar, so carbon tetrachloride. I2 is nonpolar, so carbon tetrachloride. Sodium sulfide is polar, and methanol is polar, so they both dissolve in water. So the solution is correct.